Back on private land. Yep. We in the bush, baby. And look at that. Nice puff of snow that fell down. Nice little stream here. Still flowing underneath it. So we're back on my family's private property. And what's fun about this land is on the side that I'm on, we're going uphill. And it's very dry at the top of the hill. So we're going to go scout the far southeast of the land to see if we can make our little shelter over there. Because the Queen's backyard is a fucking swamp. Everywhere I've went around the township where I live, anything that is public land is almost all swamps. So I said, screw it. I'll go on private land, and I know at least I'll never be bothered, and I don't have to ask permission to anybody else than family, and family is family. So let's go check it out. As you see, most of the bush is very dirty. We're at the beginning of this is the land is like cut in half by the road, and on the west side is where there's a lake and the cottage, and on the east side is where they come to make their wood. But I think this year was the last year they were doing that, because they're getting a bit old for that. And even me, at the price that I pay my wood now, we're getting a good deal. So I go through all the effort. So, anyway, let's go check it out. And look at that. GPS is on a rope. We ain't losing it today. So I tried to go up, because I'm going up a hill, I'm saying up, but I was going east, southeast to the land, and it became way too dirty. And I would just strain myself going there, and by the time I find a spot, I just want to sleep in the snow, how tired I'd be. So I'm about at the northern limit of the land, and I found a pretty nice clearing. The only problem is we're in a slope going down that way, and that's going down to the neighbors. South is that way, which is uphill a bit. So, possibly I would love to have the hill the other way around, because the dominant winds here are coming from the northeast, northwest, north, and so on. And the north is there, so it's going to come up the hill, but there's a lot of trees, and it's a pretty windy day, and you can barely see anything moving here. So I'm not very worried. Like if I'd have the back of my shelter facing north with two walls on the east and the west, and just have an opening towards the south, I should be more than fine. The only issue is I'm in a goddamn hill. So I'm going to head south. It's a bit dirtier over there. I don't know if you can see there. It gets very, very, zonage like that there. That's all there is over there. And you can see that it clears up a lot over there. So most probably the wind is less covered. So I'm going to go take a look. Well, world premiere. You will be the first to hear about it. I think I found something decent. Now look at this. I got a big birch right there. I got a bunch of birch right there. So what I'm going to do, now winds are coming this way. What I'll be able to do is put a post through here, tie it up to that tree, bring it here, and this will be my shelter right here at the bottom. I'm going to clear all that, And right in front, look, I can still see the sun, so I'm facing south. And all this here, I'm going to butcher to a certain degree, because I want to put my fire most probably somewhere around here, make a wall reflector there. And then when I do my shelter, these are big trees, so they already give a good cover, so I'll be able to make a little wall beside it. And I might extend that wall all the way up to here to cut off the sound from the road that I'm still hearing. And this here's by where I came, so if I head out that way, I hit the little trail eventually. But it's not too dirty to get here, and it won't be too hard to clear up and make my way here very easily. So it's time to clear this shit. Yep, let's do this. It's windy, so I'm sorry for the mic. I got a little dead cat coming in the mail. That will cut completely all the noise that you hear on the mic. But better yet, I'm going to buy a Rhodes mic pretty soon, and that's going to cut everything, and you'll just hear perfection. Not the sound of my voice, but I mean the... This stump is in my way. I'll keep some part of it to cut my wood on, because it's pretty hard. So I'll chop it about here. Geez, that's really hard wood, and it's frozen. Wow. And rotten. Another good place for this spot is all these dead trees around. It's going to make it interesting. We'll be able to do something nice. Yeah. I don't know how much I can move that without breaking it. Good. That's going to be my cutting stump. Frozen like hell. Really like this little axe. I'll have to get some leather and protect this area, because it's hickory, not Hillary, hickory. I'll cut on that little tree. It's going to be very hard to put some stakes, so what I'll do, nothing better than that. And now I got fucking wind up my ass. Okay. Whew. Yeah, so not a bad spot, but what I'm finding out is these huge trees also have huge roots. So I might have to make, I don't know, longer supported beam for my bed or something, I don't know. But what I wanted to do is, like you saw in my previous video, I had two trees and between those two trees I had a post. And then when you're on the side like that, I just had a wall coming down to the floor. Now what I want to do is, for this winter, since the ground is already semi-frozen, I won't be able to do it how I want, but what I'll do is my sticks going down for my back wall are going to be loose anyways. They're just going to be tied on each end. And then what I'll do is I'll just put a traversal another stick all the way to across it to hold it all together. But springs come along, and what I'll do is in the back I'm going to raise that roof and then put a wall at the back. So that's going to give me much more clearance to go in with my bed. And then after that, because most probably I'll remove my bed and I'll just come here with a bunk. How do you call those? The sleeping pads or whatever that have legs and all that. And sorry about that. I'm not sure yet where I'm going with this, but I have a good idea of how I want to put my shelter. And with a back wall like that, that permits me to make storage in the back that is completely dry. So when I come here, I can put my backpack and put some wood even there. So when I come, I have some dry wood right away, so I can start a fire. And yeah. Oh, that walk before just killed me. You could see everywhere I went. It's ridiculous. Out at home on my computer, I'll load my tracks on Basecamp and I'll show you the trek I did, which is completely ridiculous because it's so dirty. There's zonage everywhere, and these little branches just spring back in your face, and it's very easy to pierce an eye. So I should almost be wearing some safety glasses when I walk in these bush. So yeah, I'm going to look for a post. Look around, not too far. There's a bunch of dead trees in the back there, and there's already some fallen. So I'm going to take my boreal saw and go at it for a while. So you've seen tons of video of people chopping wood, so I'm not going to bore you with that. So I'm going to gather some wood and come back here and save my battery a bit, because it's cold. It's cold. It's like minus 21 in the wind. That's in Celsius. I'll when I edit this, I'll put the Fahrenheit most probably. But I have the sun on me. And when the sun's on me and I'm not in the wind, it's kind of most probably about -8, something like that. So it's not that cold. So as long as I'm moving, I'm okay. Right now I'm sitting on my ass, which is not true. I'm sitting on my thermopad. This video is brought to you by me. I'm just kidding. So that's it. Let's cut some wood. Some wood! Oh, I'm a bit cold right now. Shelter's coming along. So I got myself some nice little firewood, and like you see, my K-bar is wonderful for this. Chops. So I'm not going to chop down the whole forest, but I am going to make a little fire, and then after that I'm going to resume. But it's almost lunch and I'm getting hungry, and I brought myself Mountain House beef stew. Never tasted beef stew yet. And there's a stream flowing right over there about 50 feet, maybe 75 feet from where I chose my camp. Now I don't think it's a permanent stream. I think it's just some of the snow that is melting, because it's warming up really fast. Bak, 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 that's all you're hearing. So, fucking knot. Yep, right there. Always spot your knots before you start battening. But you know what? Fuck it, I'm gonna go through. K-bar, baby. That used to be a knot. Let's chop that again. This way. I'll go right beside the knot. So the wood is mostly frozen, which doesn't really matter. But there's a lot of birch around here, so igniting a fire is not going to be an issue. And I'm banging on rotten wood. That is an issue. And yeah, birch everywhere. And look where I did my post. Look at all the birch that's loose on that. And it's everywhere. There's some over there. And there's even one rotten right there. So igniting my fire, I don't think it's going to be an issue. Well, that was my hammer, so might as well. Oops. Always wear gloves with a knife, especially when you're Jake. I tend to. Another cool feature I didn't show you about this K-bar is look the handle how it's done. And that's made to grab it right by the finger like this and use it. That's perfect for debranching. So when you want to remove the knots on a branch like this, you know, you just go like this, slowly, surely. And another thing is when you're using a machete or a long knife like that, never put your hand in the way. I know a friend that not too long ago hit himself right in the wrist with a machete. He almost lost his hand in the process. So a good rule of thumb is always put your opposing hand on your opposing shoulder. So while you're chopping, it's impossible to cut your hand. And always be wary of your legs. So put your legs behind. So meaning, if this is the tree I want to chop, I'm not going to stand here like this, you know. I'm going to stand behind here, so when my knife goes like this, it's the only way it can go is ricochet this way, you know. So as I'm going through this like that, I'm not risking my limbs. So my fire is going to be quite simple. So what I did is I took an old rotten log that I cut in two right here. So when I'll be sitting in my camp, I'll be sitting here. So this is me sitting on part of my bed. The fire will most probably be a feet closer. But for now, I'm just going to do it there. I might advance it a bit. So let's make fire. Yep, that's a good idea. See, I'm in the slope here. So my wall is going to be here when I'm going to do my wall. Did I mention I hate this 5-steel? It's so short. My hands are too big and I just fucking hit everything. I would need another 2 inches at least. about to give up on this shit. I hate you, motherfucker. Yes. Yet, did I say I had enough of that? Ah. Are you wondering why I didn't set my fire directly on the ground? The reason for that is that the ground is wet, and the ground is cold and wet because there's snow everywhere. So the goal is to get your fire off of that wet floor, you know. But all this wood is really wet because it's wasn't thick enough. So when the wood is wet like this, what you want to do is get thicker trees and cut them and go to the middle of that, and all the middle is just going to be dry. Yeah, the wood is all wet and frozen. Yeah, fire in a bush. That's what we're doing. A little fire in the bush. Oop. Fire in the bush is not burning. What's wrong with you, man? My fucking wood is all wet. That's what's wrong. The goal is to get some embers. Once you got embers in there, it doesn't matter. It's just so wet, you can hear it. It's just going psss. To get that wet wood going, like I said, what you need is embers. And the best way to do embers is with little twigs. So let's try that again, but with a shitload of twigs. Be right back. See, now I'm just going to saturate it with twigs, and And as these twigs burn, they're going to create ember. And all that ember is then going to be the base of my fire, which will then, even if I feed it wet wood, it just don't matter, because it's going to be so hot in there. I can already feel it, how hot it is. So you can just hear that water going, you know. So this is all my black wood that I had just put on that fire. I'm going to re-put on that fire. And let's check the result this time. Oh my God. You can just feel that wood is wet. Can you hear that? Can you hear the fire boiling? Look at that. You can just see that water boiling out of those twigs. See, I'm telling you, man, the fire here, the wood I mean, is very, very wet. There. I'll set right on my fire. My shitty fire. You know, the one that's not lighting up. That's really wet. Anyways, at least it's going to give me a bit of stability. Yep. Ta-da! Not too bad. Put a log, you know, one of these burnt logs underneath it. Lock it in place. And my pot is over there. Get more twigs. My good old yellow matches. My good old yellow matches, I said. Ta-da! Now what you do is you try to put everything in there. And you put your hood on there. And that's it. I usually wipe the base of my pot, and that's how shit out. You'll see that's much more effective. And remember, I have a handful of twigs in there, and that's it. And that's what's creating our fire. And you'll see as it starts ignites the fire, you'll see coming out these little things. This fire is unobstructed by wind. It's working its magic. Magic! And I'm going to prepare for a coffee too. Jeez, it's cold on the hands. It's really cold outside. Oh, there. Wet gloves. Nothing better for cold hands. Yep. So how does this work? Ziploc is there, so you rip it here. Like this. Most probably have to open this. Do not eat. Don't worry. Water up in there. 500 milliliters. That's a lot of water, man. Yep, that's water boiling.
on this. Let's say that's 500 milliliter. A bit more. Put some for the coffee. I guess that's it. Can't be very much more than that. Then you close it. Oh, I think I put way too much water. For dinner, soup. Mountain Dew beef soup. How long it says? 8 to 9 minutes. Alright, so I'll put that on the floor. 2 logs and just sitting on that. Oh, coffee's ready, and guess what? I got a spoon this time. Children. Awesome coffee. You're facing the sun. That's not a good spot for you. Oh, sorry. You want to see my ugly face? I guess I'll put you here. There you go. Cooking. Oh, it's cold. Warm food is going to be good, because what that does is it warms you right up, you know, because everything is so wet. My gloves are wet from manipulating snow and my body heat, radiating that. Oh, I'm going to get up for a while. Not a bad spot, man. Not a bad spot. Whew. Yeah, I marked this spot on my GPS. This is a nice spot. Where the fuck is my GPS again? Oh, yeah. I put it in my pack. Yeah, turned it off and put it in my pack. Didn't get much done yet, but after lunch, because my hands are freezing now. I didn't think of bringing a spare pair of gloves, but my mittens. These gloves are part of my mittens, so they go in my mittens, and my mittens are not wet, so I'm just going to take off my gloves and warm my hands in my mittens after this. That's going to work. Now it's snowing. That's a bummer. nice and warm on my hands. I think I've just put way too much water in there. So I have to clean up it. Yep. We'll let her go another few minutes. How's my battery? Battery's dead. Completely dead. Let's replace the battery. We have a fresh battery. And our Dew. Our Mountain Dew. Mount House. See, those are my mittens. They're part of the package. Now let's try and open a Mountain House with mittens. How the fuck that goes. Ooh. This bitch is really tight. Wow, that's very interesting. Ooh, smells good. Well, we'll do with what we have. I'm too lazy to unclip my things. They say to stiff. Not too shabby. Very hot. Feels good. I think I'd eat warm shit right now. So there's peas, carrots, potatoes, beef. Not bad. What I love of these little mountain houses, when you're done, you gather all your garbage, throw it in there, Ziploc, and very clean. Just put that in your pack, it won't leak nothing. Last thing I want to do is have an impact. Well, this extra water turned out to be good because it really makes a nice stew kind of soup. I don't know if you can see that. You know, not too watery, but you know, look at that. It's really steamy. It's very cold. Best by December 2047. That's weird. By the way, you don't want to eat that stuff all the time. This thing's got 49% sodium. That's a lot of sodium. But doesn't have a lot of calories. The good thing about it, it's good energy for when you're in a bush. There's good fuel in there, so. I'll be cutting down a few more trees now that my hands are warming up. I'm eating like a pig, huh? That was good. pick it up. I'll put all my garbage in that little bag and seal it up.
Well, that's a wrap. The sun is not very far away. It's about 2 or 3, I don't know. I gotta watch out, me idiot. Yeah, it's pushing 2 o'clock. And this is where I am. So, as you see, I got a good half done. And there's a lot of room underneath there. So we're going to come back next weekend and we're going to cover what's left to cover there. And what's fun is on this side, see, there's almost a wall already, you know, so we're just going to have to lift that up. The problem is there's a lot of wind coming from this direction, so I'm going to have to most probably build a wall all the way here, about 3-4 feet high, and then I'll cover up this with another wall. Then I'll put a tarp on top of there, and the way I might not even put logs there for my wall. What I might do is put a tarp, but instead of going square with it, I'm going to go triangle. Well, not triangle, but an opposite square. So I'm going to turn the square 45 degrees, so then the corners can flap down on this side and flap down on this side. And what's left, I'm going to chop all this straight and even, and I'll just bring the tarp underneath here and glue it down there, and the rest of the tarp that's at the bottom there is going to sag just right there in the snow. So that's my plan. But for today there, I'm pretty... Yesterday there was a 10 to 15 centimeter of snow and I opened 2 driveways. And like I said, I'm an old man, so I really took it out. It took it out of me. So my back is just killing me today. And this cutting and dragging trees around. And as you see, I had to go with a few green trees. You know, not everything is dead in a reach, but I still see a good bunch of trees. The only thing is, you know, I have to walk through all that. See how thick that is? The only way that is less thick is the way I came, which is somewhere in there. So I'm going to take out my GPS and on my way back out of here. But good thing is we marked this place, so I'm going to tidy up, pack up on my stuff, and head back home. That's it. We found our spot. Let's let the car go by. So we're on private land because Queen's backyard is actually a swamp. Anyways, around my house. So it's still a beautiful day outside, but it's pushing 2:30. I got things to do today. I got to edit this, then I got to upload it, and so on. And by the way, thank you for watching. It's really appreciated. The more of you that there is, the more encouraged I am to come out here and show you stuff. It's really hard. It looks easy, you know, let's go camping in the bush, but you know, like I'll share my little route I did on base camp, and you'll see I walked a few kilometers today in very dirty bush. So let's go home and check it out.
So this is where I was in base camp. So like you see down here, we have the southeast corner of the land. The land where I was on, this is only half of it. So the border's about where my mouse is, up here. So I was parked down here by the road, and I came up all the way up, and I turned here, and then I went all the way in here. I tried to go in there. My aim was to go to the southeast corner, and I wasn't even halfway there, and I was discouraged because the land is extremely you know, there's zonage everywhere. So I came back on my feet and I went up here, nothing there. Came down here and then I did a loop. And this is where I told you I was in a hill. So as you see, there's a depreciation going down this way. So what I did back right then is I came here and I came back onto the road and then I came here to my shelter. So this is where I found my shelter right there. And so once I get to this point, I'll go east instead of coming down from the north like that. So I'll try to make myself a trail going like that. So that's roughly where my shelter is. And it's in a hill. The hill goes up this way and goes down that way. And if we change maps to go to what the forestry looked like you could see here, it's leafwood 7 meters and up. So that's pretty much all that. So it's pretty cool. So if you made it all the way to this point, thank you very much. So thank you very much to subscribe, to like, and to share this video. And like I said before, the more, the merrier. So as I gain subscriber, that just gives me more and more fuel to get out there and show you more stuff, you know. And sometimes, yes, it could be struggling and a challenge, but don't underestimate it. I love every second of it. Any minutes I'm out in the bush, I'm having a great time because it's so peaceful, and I encourage you to give it a try. And it doesn't have to be elaborated, you know. At first, it could just be to dip your feet into the bush, you know, go for a hike or something. But you know, it's really a beautiful place to be. It's calm and it's very peaceful. So thank you for watching, and please come again. Are you still here? My God, what you're watching right now is my wish list. It's private stuff, guys. Go away. Bye.